Here we have this vaccine for Lyme's disease, right? And so what I saw is that you got to take 3 shots in succession and then another one a year later, right? So a total of 4 shots for Lyme disease. And does this prevent you from getting it, or is this treatment for it? That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you right there. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Uh, yeah, I mean, is it like the regular vaccines we get on a regular basis, or is it something like the anthrax shots
Yeah.
we got? Here's a series of shots. You should be good now. So if you were to never get bit by a tick, you would never have to be immune to that tick disease.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was my question. That was my question is this for people that have already got Lyme disease, or is this just somebody, if you're scared you're going to get bit by a tick, then you can take these shots, and if you do get bit, then you won't get sick. I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one it is. So that's
It's
all
just
I was
something.
saying.
It's saying this right here. This is in a. It said the U.S. consumers once had access to human Lyme disease vaccine called Lymex, Lymerix, Lymerix, but it was withdrawn from the market 20 years ago due to the fact that there was a lot of adverse reactions. I'm ad libbing now, uh, including arthritis. Isn't that funny? Everything, every kind of pain you have is always blamed on arthritis. Like everybody's going to have arthritis no matter what,
Well,
you know, unless even if you just sat
I
on a
I
couch every day and never did anything your
yeah.
whole life, you're
What's
still
up,
going to have
Cook? I love you,
arthritis.
brother. Yeah.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah.
Let's see what else we got
I don't.
here.
I don't. I don't know what to think about aging sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
So
I had that
we got
conversation with my
vaccines
mother
for
today
about what?
about the aging process. It was pretty interesting
Oh my gosh!
conversation.
Right? Wait, it's
She says, "I'm only 65." Sorry, mom. I just welched your age out there, live TV, live to the world to know. Uh, but we were having this
oh my
conversation this
gosh.
morning, and she's like, "I saw my sister the other day. She just looks so old." I said, "Mother, that's just the way that we age. We're not going to spring chickens forever." So yeah, and the
Right.
vaccines and everything started coming out in that same conversation. They've got the monkeypox going pretty rapid right now, from what I've been hearing, and they're
One of
associating
the
that with.
things about monkeypox
Go ahead.
one of the interesting things about monkeypox is that it almost, you know, a whole bunch of percentage is happening from homosexual men that are having sex, and that's where it's being transmitted without a doubt.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see it turn into a sexually, we what we have just done, what we watched happen like over the past few months, I mean months, is watch a new sexually transmitted disease show up. This is, I mean, it's just like poof, like in 2021, monkeypox was not a thing. Now all of a sudden, the homosexual male community has an entirely new communicable disease that not only they spreading amongst themselves, but now they're going to be outcast because they could be spreading it to other people too, and it's just a weird situation, right? It's just got to
Right.
be it's just got to be a weird situation.
Where'd they say that started
And
at?
so,
Another
so
country?
that's so what I read about it is that it's been around for a long time, and that it's been in small outbreaks, and it's been hidden and quiet and not a big deal. Um, but recently, it began to spread apparently more rapidly, probably because of a mutation, and probably because somebody was out there and became a super spreader again. You know, um,
Right.
and and went out and spread this monkeypox all over the place. It's these diseases a lot of times are spread in this situation by unprotected sex that's been happening by people like people that travel all over the world to different places that happen to be in high risk sexual behaviors. And with the advent of AIDS going away, a lot more people are having unprotected sex because they're taking the HIV drugs and stuff. And so now monkeypox is blown up,
Right.
and it is. If it is, but it's, but the data is what the data is. I'm not making a judgment about it. It's just kind of a tough thing.
Yeah. It's just something else to navigate. You know,
Oh
just
yeah.
just
Oh
know
my
it's out
gosh.
there,
Yeah.
and practice safe sex. Uh,
Hey,
yeah, I
amen.
don't.
That's what it's.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
know.
I don't have any judgment on that. I'm pretty neutral.
The So one of the things that I noticed about where we were at for the reunion this weekend was it
Wow.
was kind of a sketchy area there. Apparently, there was a shooting. That area where our cars were parked and our room entrance was. I mean, there was no exit out of there except there was only one way out. That'd been a perfect OK Corral if some gang wanted to have a shootout up in there.
Mm. It was kind of
But
sketchy, wasn't it?
the facilities really were nice.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
look, the facilities though they were pretty nice, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
The staff was very friendly. Hey Archer, I love you, buddy. It was so good to see Archer, right?
Oh
Wasn't
my
it
God,
so cool to see Archer?
he's the man.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, he made that guide on,
Oh,
and
he made a
that was
coins,
nice. And
poker chip coins,
those coins, man,
stickers.
I gotta find the. I think I know where the coin and the poker chip and stuff is. It's in the bag over there. I still haven't completely unpacked. I'm bad about that.
Haven't either. It haven't either.
So what was your tell me about your memory, one memory of yours from the reunion. What was memorable to you?
I think for me, it was just feeling that camaraderie. You know, I think that was a big part of it for me. And then, just the stories that just pour out. You don't even have to ask for them; they just come. Uh, I think that's such an awesome thing. And then the people were amazing. Oh, all the way down to the barmaid. Uh, my gosh, she was working that night. So,
I thought she did a great job
oh,
keeping
I
up with us.
I gave her a healthy former force donation.
Oh, did you good? I gave her a
Yeah,
good tip too. So good, good,
yeah.
good. Yeah.
No,
And
I watched her work and work, and then I was like, you know what? There's got to be an ATM over here somewhere. So let me bet her some money.
oh, that's good.
No, it was fun.
That's
Food was
good.
amazing. The people were great. It was just a good time. It really was.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was. Um, I was looking at some of the video and stuff today, and I did process some of it. We got almost 3 hours of continuous stories in that little day room, and a lot of them are really good. You know,
Yeah.
we got stories where the colonel and sergeant major talk about the ending of being affiliated with the 82nd and moving to the new place, and those stories are out there. We got sergeant major talking about the Thunderdome. We've got
That was
just
funny.
lots of stories about, yeah, lots of stories about, the branch and some of the history and some of the battalion history, and that was good. And then we've got some of the shot footage from the late night, and
Oof.
then we have a Momo video. You saw the Momo video, right? You can't send it to nobody, right?
No,
Right. So
it's my Momo video. I own I own
They
fifty
call it.
percent. I own 50% of that video.
Oh, that's funny.
She's gonna be famous.
Oh, that's funny. So,
Very she's
so
very artistic.
oh wow. So yeah, so Momo sang for us earlier in the night. She actually played guitar and everything, and she actually we have a video of her singing her newest single, and we all think she's going to be a superstar one day. So we've got footage that we can't release until she lets us. So it's pretty cool. It is absolutely cool, and she's like when she's a star, I want you to know that she calls me by name. She's like, right? She's like, do you have a hoo-yah, Will? And I'm like, I got a hoo-yah.
It
They
was
thought it
good.
was funny that her song was like hoo-yah or hoo-yah or what was it again? I forget. Do you got a hoo-yah or
You gotta,
anyway?
yeah. Well, we don't want to talk about it. We just let it know that
It
it's a
was
good one.
fun.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where
Um,
she takes all that.
yeah, I gotta look her up. I gotta get with Abigail, and I connected with Crystal already, who did the drum things with
Yeah,
us, and
yeah. I already did.
Abigail I've
I did as
connected
well.
to.
I connected
I
with her as well.
want I want to do the drum thing. I want to learn more about that. I'm gonna tell you, that was, you weren't there for the drum circle, were you?
No,
Okay. It's hard to explain, but Archer was there for sure, for sure. Um, I'm trying to remember who else was there for the drum circle. But Crystal and Abigail had them big old other drums, and it was, oh, Evans was there. Evans was there for sure because he said he wanted to buy one of those things, and I tell you what, that was a very healing kind of moment. It was really cool. All of us had a drum, and we were beating it, but the ladies had these big old drums, and they were like standing over us hitting them so that the sound waves kind of like washed over your body,
yeah.
and man, it was awesome. So yeah, Archer, I got drums and stuff. I'm gonna look at getting some of that. That would be cool. I would hire people to go stand over me and beat on the drums. I think I could do that. That would be pretty cool. But the organic way that it happened, and just the way the event turned in, where Abigail ended up bringing out the some kind of strobe light things and some background music that ended up playing. Like, I think I started it at the beginning, but at some point she took over and took it to a totally different level.
Right.
And it was really, really cool. So that was the highlight for me of everything. other than seeing folks, right? I had Command Sergeant Major Rogers there with me, and I hadn't spent any time hardly with him, and he was a platoon sergeant during,
That
my
was
formative days. He's the
I
guy that,
I'd like to say that if that was a pivotal moment for me, that was just awesome. It was amazing to be able to actually hand the box out. You
yeah,
remember?
right, to hand it. So who did you hand? Yeah, so you handed a box out at the ceremony. You
Yeah.
did it to
Sarp, I
for
think it was Sergeant
Sergeant Major
Major Ricker. It was
Rucker,
Rucker, Sergeant Major Rucker,
Rucker.
and his family was there,
Yeah. Mhm.
and it was just so
Yeah.
awesome. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this feels good. I mean, at first I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, ladies and gentlemen, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not in the Army anymore. That's what I was thinking in my head, and I was like, all right. Anyways, as I was saying, and I just let it go. But yeah, I think I hammered it home that hey, the coin, no, it's just a coin. The box, just a box. But that little thumb drive, that's the meat and potatoes of the whole concept, you know. And to be able to express that to an audience was pretty neat. Uh, I thought it was cool. So yeah, that was
I
really that
enjoyed
was that will be a memory I'll probably hang on to for the rest of my life. It was pretty cool.
one of the things I enjoyed was kind of in a way leading the party, with the music and the karaoke stuff and it being veterans.
Yeah,
We That's something, and getting all the video. I'm gonna tell you, I enjoyed, like, like if if we were gonna do this as a job somehow, that wouldn't be a bad job to do, right? If we were going to say, okay, we're going to come to your reunion, we're going to provide entertainment, we're going to video it, we're going to, help produce some type of thing. I wonder what that would be like. I wonder how fun that would be to get those stories, right?
right. It's just how long can we uphold that? It would be fun to get those stories in that environment. I would have loved to have got a couple more. I'd love to have did at least one or two live interviews. That would have been interesting. Uh, but hey, we're only a
Well,
year
I
into
did
this.
like that whole day. Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're only
exactly.
a
That
year
whole
into
day
it.
Friday. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree.
I think there's a delay.
Yeah, yeah. There must be a delay. It sounds like you're pretty far behind me sometimes.
And I'm trying to get in front of you, so go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's so it's one of the things that I'm finding fun and interesting doing this with you, especially, is learn. We're learning, right? We haven't done this before. This is
Oh, yeah.
not like something that we know a lot about, and so as we figure it out, and like I see you getting antsy, like Will's got to talk more, and don't let the dead air go. You gotta say something. I just think it's really cool. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
So one
we'll
of the
figure it
things
out.
yeah, one of the things I thought that we might talk about is listen to the news together and then have commentary about it. Let's see what's on the news. You want to try that? You want to
Let's
listen to the
try it.
news real quick? It's
Yeah,
NPR News Now. It's 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
hit it.
All right, let's see. Hold on. Let me do something. Make sure I got the latest.
Yeah, I don't want to see it either because
Make
I
sure I
can't.
got the
I
latest.
can't. I can't read. I got my glasses on. Something I'm going to have to start working on.
Live from NPR News, I'm Janine Hurst. The White House says it had no prior knowledge of the FBI raid on former President Donald Trump's Florida estate. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports Republicans are angry while Democrats praise the search.
Okay, so the White House says they didn't know in advance that they were going to raid the White House. They were going to raid Trump. Do you believe that? The White House had no prior knowledge at all that. Okay, all right.
No,
interesting. Okay, so
no, absolutely not. I would be willing to bet they knew all about it.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Let's see what's next.
Department marks a major escalation in the department's investigation into Trump during the final months of his presidency. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre stressed that no one, including President Biden, was given a heads up about the raid.
I can say that President Biden has been unequivocal since the campaign. He believes in the rule of law, in the independence of the Justice Department investigations, that those investigations should be free from political influence, and he has held that commitment as president.
The Justice Department's investigation appears to be focused on classified documents that Trump allegedly took from the White House before he left office. Windsor Johnston, NPR News, Washington.
All right. So Trump took some classified documents when he left office. 80% chance that happened, 100% chance that happened, 0% chance that happened. Like I wonder how many classified documents, like Ronald Reagan left the White House with. I wonder how many classified documents, Jimmy Carter left the White House with. Yeah. But you know what? For some reason, I got a feeling that Trump, I see him smuggling some stuff away in a briefcase. I really do. But at the same time, I don't see it being sequestered in a safe somewhere. I see him destroying the heck out of it.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that they've taken all the attention and thrown it on this raid. All right. So this raid has like consumed everything that Biden has been doing, our president. He actually just signed into law something about the microchips or something, silicone chips. I don't know what they are. But he has got no publicity about that at all. And that's actually supposed to be a good thing because it's affected our automobile industry, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of it. It's amazing how the government just trickles all through everything and it just entwines. And it don't matter where you are. You could be in the church. You could be in a Dollar General. You could be at the Texaco. It's all entwined. You're always going to be in the government. And the government knows everybody. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
Federal health officials have rolled out a plan to stretch the limited number of monkeypox vaccine doses. The decision made today by the Food and Drug Administration changes how the shot is given. NPR's Ari Daniel has more.
Current U.S. monkeypox counts have swelled to over 8,900 cases, and vaccine demand has outpaced supply. That's why the FDA is allowing the monkeypox vaccine to be injected differently. It'll be given beneath the top layer of skin instead of into the fat layer below the skin. Such a change will mean as little as a fifth of a full dose is needed for each person. There's not much data on trying this with this monkeypox vaccine, but the FDA's Peter Marks said it's been used in other instances.
All right.
PDP test. That's a PDP test. Something like that.
All right. So we have this vaccine that if you do it this way, it works. But if you do it a fifth of it, but just in a different place, it works too, we think.
But if it doesn't, then everybody
I
dies.
don't know, man.
Then they've wasted
Huh?
all the rest of the doses that they had. And why can't they resupply?
Oh,
What's the deal, man? You can
huh?
reproduce that stuff daily.
Oh,
So why couldn't you?
oh my gosh. Gary, dude, I love you, man. All right, so hold on. Parsons on here. Parsons,
I
what's
didn't see
paying?
any messages.
Yeah, Parsons on here. Think about every investigation they've conducted on Trump, and they've come up on empty and TBT. All right, yeah. If you're on here, say hi. I love it. We're hanging out. We're hanging out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So what we all right. So back to it. Back to it. Here we go.
Look at the totality of the available scientific evidence, and we bring that together to try to do the best by public health.
In addition, the FDA decision also allows those under 18 to get the vaccine. Ari Daniel, NPR News.
A new complaint from the ACLU of Texas calls for a federal investigation of migrant transports at the border as part of Operation Lone Star. Texas Public Radio's Mariette Navarro has more.
The complaint alleges the Texas Department of Public Safety detained and bused suspected migrants from an inspection site at Eagle Pass and transferred them to Border Patrol custody. The ACLU wants the Department of Homeland Security to monitor ports of entry and investigate possible civil rights violations. It also requests DHS refuse requests to take custody of transported migrants. Governor Greg Abbott issued a controversial executive order in July that authorized state troopers to transport migrants back to ports of entry. Immigration law enforcement falls under federal responsibility. I'm Mariana Navarro in San Antonio.
It absolutely baffles my mind that we kind of just, I don't know. It's almost like we encourage people to migrate here by making facilities for them to live in when they cross the border. But then both sides yell at it. Okay? Think about it for a second, okay? We need people to work in this country. We don't have citizens that'll do it. Citizens that can get out of it will do it. And so what they do is they bring in somehow undocumented people across the border, make these detention facilities where we talk about, turning them away and whatever. But look, the people that are in my area that are doing work in the construction business and a lot of other places, the ones that are doing the work, the skilled labor, in many cases are undocumented workers that are here, from another country.
I agree.
And
with you
we
100%.
just had a family that did our drywall right behind me, right? Him and his brother. They told us all about themselves and how they get over and how they get back and all kinds of stuff. And it is their way of life. They know how they do it, right? There's a network in the country and there's a network in the other country, and they take care of it. They can make so much more money over here. Like to work for one day over here is quadruple what you can do over there.
It's like a whole month.
They send a group of skilled workers over here to do things that they've been doing their whole life, and they come in, they do it, they do a good job at it, and they get paid a fair wage. But they send the majority of that home because they sit like there's 4 guys that rent a house together, right? They rent a crap house, a crap whole house. They don't care about it, right? They're not going to care about mowing the yard and planting flowers and doing all that, but they want parking spaces for their trucks and a bedroom. They can go in and close the door. So they rent a nice, 4-bedroom house somewhere and share their meals and things like that. And it's family, and they work over here and send most of the money home and have a network when they need to go and come. They were sharing with us about, when what they would do when somebody had medical problems and how that would go, and it's always
Wow,
it's just
that's a
always a
struggle.
crapshoot, it's always in
Yeah.
there.
That's a heck of a
Yeah.
struggle, a way of life. It's interesting how strong and courageous these people are. But on the other hand, I mean, if they did it legally, they wouldn't have all the struggle. But that's the only way they know. Uh,
Well, the issue is that they're filling a hole that's not being filled at home, right? If there
Right.
was somebody that was doing this drywall work that would do it at a price that they would do it for, and it was doing a competent job, then they wouldn't have a job, right? Because we all know that we'll hire Brad or Bubba before we're going to hire somebody from out of the country, or that's just the way it works. If there's somebody, but the issue is that we won't pay our buddies their fair price to do work, right? Oh, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. So you gotta hire somebody that's not your friend or your relative to do your work. Though nobody wants to work on their relatives' stuff, right? Nobody wants to charge something their relatives, because you damned if you do and you damned if you don't.
right.
I would much rather call somebody that I wasn't related to get
Right.
things like that done, because it's just a weird thing. But what happens is everybody wants a deal, right? But also everybody wants to be a capitalist when it's time to sell.
Right.
So we're all playing this silly game where we're trying to take advantage of each other, and it's just kind of a sad state, right? It's just kind of
Yeah.
a sad state.
Well,
So
that
all right,
kinda-
so let's
that
get back
kinda
to this
brings
NPR
us-
news.
That brings you right to what we're talking about right now, Will. Is the State of the Union for the world, the United States in particular, because that's where we live. That's what we fought for, and I think we're struggling. To stay afloat. It's interesting.
I get it. So when you say we're struggling to stay afloat, I mean, I get it. I
Well,
agree with that.
We're losing.
The
We're
thing
losing.
the thing that
Go ahead, Will.
so I don't see though much that we can do about it until we decide to change certain policies, right? Like, I'll give you an example. When you listen to the United States talk about international things, they use a word called, they use words like rules-based leadership and rules-based structures. All right. They do not use words like in accordance with international law. They don't use those words. And the reason that the United States doesn't is because international law, if they agreed that they would be subject to international law, because if you don't realize it, the United States of America has said we don't follow international law. We're not privy to that. They call something that's called rules-based agreements or leadership or something like that. It's always rules-based. So when you hear these talking heads talk about these talking points, if you don't dig a layer or two deep into what they're talking about, then you miss a lot of the nuance of the things. Basically, what we have done as a country, as we have said, NATO is good and everybody else is bad. And somehow we've decided that Australia and Guam and the Philippines is part of NATO, along with all the stuff to include now Ukraine. And what we're doing is we're just trying to widen that swath of, we're playing risk here, right? We're in the middle of a big game of risk, and somebody's rolling the dice, and we're moving armies and reinforcing things. And I look, when they put NASAMS, when the trucks driving the NASAM stuff goes pulling into Kyiv, right? He's driving down we're gonna go pull up over here, and we're gonna go set it up, and we're gonna point them missiles and the radars up. Man, if I was Putin, I'd be like, they blow up, right?
Absolutely.
You're gonna let like.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Will. We're just going to allow, he's not just going to allow us to just park our stuff anywhere we want to park it and not retaliate in a sense. I think he's got more coming. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's going to keep bringing it because he's not going to lose.
Well, the issue that I have with it, Joe, is two things. One, he's not the one that's bringing it. It's us that's bringing it. We're the ones that are driving it. You don't see it out of the American media,
right,
but we're the ones that are driving the train. We're the ones that are attacking the people in the Donbass region that caused him to do the special military action that he's just continued on. Why? Because we've continued on. We've continued sending bombs for them to blow up, and they're blowing up Russians with them, and they're blowing up citizens. They're blowing up all kinds of stuff. And the American media doesn't talk about it. And I guess, I don't know. The issue that I have is it blows my mind that most of us are willfully just like, think that Russia's losing and that, look, Ukraine's falling apart. The issue that we got to worry about, or that we should worry about, is that we even want to think of moving NASAMS into Kyiv. That shows the aggression of NATO. And Kamala Harris, our VP, was in a foreign country not long ago, basically welcoming Ukraine into NATO. There's a big battle plan here that's happening.
And
I think it's sad.
She hit a couple different spots. She hit a couple different spots on her little trip. It's my goodness, man. And you're absolutely right. We just kind of stick our heads in the sand, like it's not on our land, so why are we worried about this? We don't have nothing to do with it. But you're absolutely right. The underlying result of all this is us funneling all this money, weapons, everything over, because we want to protect our lands too. We've already got NATO, Poland, and we've got stuff set up everywhere. So we're just trying to. No, we're not trying to. We're preparing is what we're doing. We're preparing for the inevitable. I believe it's coming. I think he's going to come all the way down. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things I think is interesting also that's happening with China and Taiwan is that for some reason we think that Taiwan is some independent country that operates independently from China, and that's not it. That's not the case. There's a one China policy that everybody agreed to many, many years ago. And we're the only ones that's breaking that, right? Taiwan isn't like saying, come on, America, come over here and help us. That's not it at all. We're forcing that hand. Our folks. I wonder, what do you think Pelosi went over there and took to them? What did she take? She had to take something, right? Had to take something, right?
She did. I'm not sure what that would be, but there was a fine gesture, I'm sure, or a reassurance to the Taiwanese people that they were taken care of, if that was what was warranted. I don't know, wasn't there, but yes, I know she'd flown over there as well. It's kind of crazy.
Colonel said that she took her son over there. Love you, sir. Yeah, and NATO was formed to prevent another Hitler. Yeah, I totally agree. But look, Putin ain't Hitler. Okay, Putin is well loved by his people, and he is not exterminating anybody. He's trying to protect his people. So that were being bombed by the. Look, one of the interesting things, if you dig down into all the Ukraine stuff, is about the Minsk agreements, right? And our inability and lack of desire to follow the Minsk agreements. And when you look at it, it's very obvious that if you read it, it's very obvious what happened and what we were doing. And that Nazi Azov battalion was harassing the Russian speaking people because they were ultra conservative, and they didn't. It was really wild. It was really, but it's a very in-depth situation.
Right.
Yeah, and Colonel attacking an unprovoked country. Now, bull crap. That's they were very provoked, and there's lots of evidence about it. And it's crazy how if you don't go looking for the other side, you're not going to see it. If you don't go look for it, you're not going to find. But the Azov battalion, in many cases, and continues to this day, are reflagging bad things. Right? They're doing bad things and saying it was somebody else. And there's lots of examples of it, and lots of examples of the media that only highlights one side, and I'm really appalled and upset at our government and our defense contractors that are, it's just really, 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 really tough thing, And sir, I don't know. I think I don't know. I just don't agree. I think that's way. No. I think if we were going to do that, I will tell you that Americans were making cross-border incursions into Juarez and pipe bombing people, and that's why. So, anyway, one of the other things that I think that's interesting is how Taiwan, right? That we think that we're going to go defend Taiwan from
China.
Like Taiwan has Chinese, Taiwan doesn't have its own army. It's, I love you too, sir. Big time love you, sir. You're awesome. And one of the things that China has all of its tanks out there ready to put them on ships and just take them over there. And just drive them on the streets and be in Taiwan and say, okay, this is over. We've invaded and we have it. And so there's going to be no more questions. It's going to happen fairly soon because we're being penitent about it. We're not being very nice people when we do some of the things that we do. We're poking, we're poking. One of the things I saw, oh gosh, what is his friggin' name? Ricky Ellison wrote a piece about how Guam is our homeland, right? He wrote a whole piece, and that the America's making a stance, and that we have to protect our homeland. Guam's our homeland?
No, it's.
I
think
so.
the only reason why they call it their homeland is because of the base that's located there and the convenience of refueling and all the other good stuff. You know what? We can call it whatever we want. You know what? You call the United States Mexico. You can call Mexico the United States. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can't call it home. Wherever you're at is home. So no, I don't agree.
So my point to that, Joe, is that like we could say the 13 our individual colonies are our homeland, right? We could say that,
exactly.
For sure, right? We could say as Americans, well, we could say Alaska and Hawaii are part of our homeland, almost, right? Kinda. It's our homeland. Yeah, we may be. But you're not going to stand, Rick. You're not going to stand long out there too far up on that staff going, Guam is our homeland, and get a whole bunch of us to go fight for it. I'm not going to go to Guam and fight for our home. That is not our homeland. And, if we go do anything against Taiwan, you realize it has to be a naval battle, right? Yeah. There's a naval battle. We got to go attack.
I'm pretty sure, I might be mistaken, but I may have read somewhere where they do have a naval fleet. It may not be much, but they have a naval fleet. I mean, I'm not saying Taiwan. Hang on, let me check.
Oh.
Let me check. I'm just curious. You got me really curious.
You're going to go look. You're going to look for how big Taiwan. Yeah, see how big. See, does Taiwan have their own army? I'm going to tell you, from everything I've looked at, they agreed to a one China, and they probably have some kind of a non-militarization, pact or something. But they agree that they're all one part of the same country.
Oh, I
love you, sir.
I didn't see that. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. It's almost dinner time for me too. Okay, did Taiwan ever belong to China? Let's just click on this. I'm curious. In 1945,
yeah, they still belong to China.
In 1945, Japan unconditionally surrendered with the signing of the Instrument of Surrender and ended its rule in Taiwan as the territory was put under the administrative control of the Republic of China in 1945 by the United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Administration. Interesting.
Okay, so look, it's more complicated than that, but if you just go with that and you can say, is Taiwan part of China? Boom, there you go. Okay, boom. Okay, there's a little bit more to it where there was two groups that broke up and one group moved to China, basically. but from that point on, and even in the 70s, the whole world signed a one China treaty, and it had to do with Taiwan. And that treaty is still in effect. We're the ones that have our peepees in a wad, and we're the ones trying to peel off Taiwan and to cause these conflicts. It's our desire for control over the chips, or I don't know. I have no idea what it's about. But that Nancy Pelosi gets on an airplane and flies over there the same week that her husband's going through a DUI trial in her home city of California is pretty. I mean, that's kind of
starting to dry up.
Wimpy, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's starting to dry up in California too. They're all moving to Texas, Tennessee. You didn't notice it on the way home?
Oh yeah,
everybody from California. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're running from California.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
I saw tons and tons of license plates. Which is cool. I mean, I don't care one way or another, to be honest with you. My house mortgage is going up.
Let's listen to the rest of this.
Lower by the closing bell, the Dow down 8 points, the Nasdaq down 150, the S&P 500 down 17. U.S. futures contracts are trading flat. This is NPR. 4 Pakistani soldiers were killed in a suicide blast in an area of the country where an offshoot of the Taliban is active. A senior member of that group was killed in a mysterious blast earlier this week. NPR's Dia Hadid has more from Kabul.
There have been relentless attacks against soldiers in a rugged border area of Pakistan known as North Waziristan. Most appear to be the work of the TTP. That's a local offshoot of the Taliban that seeks to wage war against the Pakistani government. The insurgents were pushed out of the area years ago in a series of military operations, but they've been regrouping and gaining in strength since the Taliban seized power in neighboring Afghanistan. That's where one of their senior commanders was killed, but it looks unlikely to stop what increasingly appears to be a low-level conflict in Pakistan's border areas. Dia Hadid, NPR News, Kabul.
Tennis great Serena Williams says the countdown has started to her retirement. In an essay in Vogue magazine, Williams says she's preparing to step away from tennis. This after winning 23 Grand Slam titles and turning her focus to having another child and also her business interests. She wrote, "I'm turning 41 this month and something's got to give." Williams is playing in Toronto this week at a hardcourt tournament that leads into the U.S. Open. The last Grand Slam event starts in New York on August 29th.
It's wild to think that you're 41 years old and at the top of her game for so many years, right? I mean,
She's an amazing athlete.
Did you see the movie they made about her and her sister?
I believe I did. Long time ago.
It had recently. Had Will Smith in it?
Probably not.
Yeah, you got to see that movie. Yeah, you got to see that movie. That's a great movie, dude. Dude, I was crying, man. I was crying through that movie. It is great. Well done. Of course, I'm a crier, you know.
Yeah. No, it was I followed her through her career. Very amazing.
0.1%. I'm Janine Hurst, and you're listening to NPR News.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Fund.
All right. Well, that was the news. So we talked about they had a Pakistani, suicide bomber. We talked about the raid. The White House had no idea. Oh my gosh, really? They're raiding the former president's house? I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess they say, they don't get involved. I don't know.
I've got a lot of opinion about that. And I think I drag a lot of it from, my prior experience being on the political side of the military. Because even as a young soldier, I was already still seasoned, So I got to see this with an understanding the second time around, with an understanding as, hey, I'm still private and I know what's coming. I know how it's developing. So it was really interesting when I went back in the Army, and I've got lots of opinions. I've got lots of ideas, and we'll just need to kind of draw them out as we go. To get back to you on that kind of break what we were just talking about, they've got a total of Taiwan has a total of 117 assets. They got 43 patrol vessels, 4 submarines, 14 mine warfare, 22 frigates, 2 corvettes, and 4 destroyers. No aircraft carriers, no helicopters. They do have an army as well. They've got 1,681,500 personnel. 170,000 active, 15,000 reserve, or 1 million reserve, 1.5 mil reserve. So they do have some availability, but I'll tell you, it's amazing. The population is 23 million, That's their population there on Taiwan.
Right.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, everything must go straight up. Just like if you were in like
Yeah.
Bahrain or Italy, everything goes straight up because there's no more land, or even Korea. Korea was a fine example. But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
it? But yeah, I just wanted to add to that. I just wanted to make sure we close that out so everybody knows that we did answer that question.
So, all right. So what you're telling me is Taiwan has their own little army, their own little flag, their own little uniform. Is that true? And it's different from China? Like, I'm Taiwanese soldier, is that true?
I believe so. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well,
let's look.
Okay.
I'm curious. You got me.
Because that might be Korean vessels. I can't believe that you say that like Taiwan has 0 helicopters. It's like
zero.
We didn't think we would need that capability.
Taiwan. Let me go with No, they have their own flag, brother. Here, let me.
Okay,
So check this out. So they got their own flag.
All right. Okay.
Let's see. Population 23.57 million. Let's see.
So what we should do the
different type of people that live there: China, Ukraine, Singapore. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally offline there. Yeah, they are their own people, and they're concerned about China doing drills. So I'm trying to see how big this island is. Just kind of get a reference.
Right.
See if we can get it in square miles. Oh my goodness, I just got the whole map. I got to make it smaller. I just got directions to a place in Taiwan. Taiwan is officially the Republic of China. It is a country in East Asia at the junction of the East and South China Seas in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, with People's Republic of China as the northwest, Japan to the northeast, and the Philippines to the south. How the heck did the Philippines get separated from that? Too far south?
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it looks like.
Go ahead.
It looks to me like Taiwan does have its own army.
Yeah.
But they're set up and funded and built by China.
That's it.
It's like it's the same equipment, and they have their own stuff, just like we have National Guard and Air Force, and that's kind of the one of that things would be like. It'd be like notice how we don't have a Puerto Rican army, right? Right. There's a National Guard folks that are in Puerto Rico, but
right.
We have not allowed that. Right. We have decided that we will find a way to make sure that Puerto Rico isn't a state, but it also isn't, doesn't have its own army. It's really weird situation. We only do, we only give status to people that it benefits us to give. Kind of sad, actually. So, all right. So we've, I know. We've had a good time tonight. We've just hanging out about an hour. We've run all of our guests away, and but we've had a good time. We've talked about the reunion, and talked about the news a little bit, and so maybe next week we'll
find something
have
juicy.
a guest or something. We'll get it figured out. All right,
Find something
juicy.
Huh? Yeah,
something juicy.
I got until next Tuesday, so this is new to me, so I'm trying to figure it out myself. So you're just gonna have to bear with me, Will.
Okay.
But we'll figure it out.
Well, if you're watching, good. Well, if you're watching, you enjoy it, say hi. Let us know what's going on, and we're going to sign off of here, and Joe's going to do some dinner.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
much love, everybody.